Last time on the Adventures of Gaia. Pryo, Danus, Nadra, and Zdeno continued through the ancient ruins of Akeen in search of information on the Dark One. They came across a library filled with rotting paper books and old Gaia pads. Nadra told Pryo that he should look for a book on entropy to understand the Dark One. And while Pryo and Nadra searched, Danus found a pad that detailed the history of Akeen. It described the foundation of a great city, how the king succumbed to despair when he became convinced there were no new lands to conquer, and how a strange emissary suddenly appeared. After secret talks with the emissary, the king ordered a shrine to be built in the throne room. That was the final entry. Moving on from the library, they found a ruined site of an old market and darklings. Long dead Gaiazans infected with the black goo of the Dark One. They fought them off, but Nadra expended energy in a great blast of white light. They know there are more darklings out there, waiting, as they try to solve the mystery of the fall of Akeen and the Dark One. You found yourself with a strange female character, who Pryo now you have slung over your back as she just swooned from fighting off some rather terrifying black goo-filled darklings.
Zombie types.
Some sort. You're in an old market. Zdeno had looked out the hallway.
Hey, she all right?
I put her down gently.
Can I walk over, check vitals, just make sure we're not missing something?
Sure. When Pryo lays her down on just one of the random stall tables that are left, Zdeno had checked the corridor and said it looked clear. You walk over and look her over. She's still breathing. This black glass, almost like obsidianness that was around her wrists from where she was shackled to the wall when you found her, has actually spread quite a bit up to each elbow now and down. Just there's pinks left of the tips of her fingers after expending what seemed like a lot of light to protect you all.
Okay, Pryo picks her back up, slings her on his shoulder and says, "We need to get out of here. This place is not defensible. If more of those zombies come, we could be in trouble."
All right, sounds good. We heading for the front, or are we heading further in?
We gotta find a room that's defensible.
All right. Hey, Zdeno!
Okay. He's still just kind of warily peeking out the door every so often, being the courageous being he is.
Yeah.
Go up there, check out the room, front and left. See what's in there real quick. Maybe there's treasure. Go check it out. Oh, side note, I would pick up my pad that has the map and stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. Making sure I don't leave this behind. Fantastic. And we passed a room and we didn't go in, correct?
No, you're in the center room. I have a map all drawn here. You are in the center room, which is the market. There is apparently some sort of trading room. That's the next large room. As I said before, they seem to span 2 to 3 stories. They're quite enormous. They have huge double doors that open. Zdeno looks at you and goes, "You have the gun. You go first."
Oh, okay, fine. I'll push past him. If we bump into each other, fine. It's going to give him one of those friendly little love taps. And I will go for the trading room and just...
Stay close together.
Zdeno does take up the rear and keep looking back. He keeps looking a lot backwards as you're coming around.
Somebody should. Good.
As you come around the corner, you do hear the faint tick-tick-tick noise, which you are familiar with. That was those seem to look like some sort of morphed or malfunctioning Gaia bot. But there's none that are in the hallway right now. Dennis, roll PR.
Okay, sounds good.
Pattern recognition and extrapolation.
My pattern recognition is 130. Pretty good.
Yeah.
47. Just a success.
Nice. All right, you had your gun assembled.
Yes, I'll make sure I'm reloading my ammo and stuff as we have time here. But yes, it would do. I'm going to bring in a pistol.
You look, you see another one of those cameras down at the very end of the hallway. That's this little blue box right here on the map. And other than that, you notice where the goo that had escaped, you see a track through the dust and dirt up to the wall opposite where the rooms are on, and it seems to have disappeared down the cracks.
Okay, gross.
And you make your way towards what's been labeled the trading room. You come around the corner, you come up to the walls, you quickly look in. These doors are completely ajar. And there's many more crates in this space. They're piled quite high. A lot of them have rotted. You see things that have fallen. You see the odd, what looks like a metal of some sort. Be they swords? You look quickly. It's quite a large room. There's darkness at the back. This room isn't glowing in so much or lit as much as the other rooms were, but it is quite quiet.
Okay. So nothing bad, right?
Oh, no.
Zdeno, it's clear. Check this for anything useful. Treasure, traps. Be careful.
All of us. In.
Oh, in? Okay.
It's about 2.5 stories high. There's these, it looks like it was almost as if it was made more for storage, and there are some center stalls in the middle, again made of metal. Nothing quite so, not like is in the market room where there were many stalls to be seen.
Second floor access?
No. This room, unlike the market, which did have those upper walkways, this room is just straight up and down.
Good, that'll make it much more defensible.
I'm about to...
You get the idea in here. You walk in, and there are this main counter. There's a couple of little stalls off to the side each way that have windows in the wall here and here. There are 2 doors to come in and out. You suspect this is where people either brought stuff they were trading with the kingdom of Akeen, and they would be outloaded in and out here, or people might come to trade for currency within the kingdom. You did read some of this when you were going through that pad earlier, Danus. So it's not made for shopping, but there are, as you can see, and as I said, lots of boxes piled quite high. Some have rotted and fallen over.
Go in the back, go.
Okay. I'll start very, very lightly pushing each box as I walk past to find something that's very heavy. When I do, I'm going to make Zdeno help me barricade the door.
Good thinking. +1. Okay, when you come into you go past that counter and you walk in. The counter's all made of metal, as almost everything is here. Within a few steps, quite a few of they're large crates.
Okay. Pryo puts the sorceress down in a safe place somewhere. Where would that be in my estimation here?
You quickly check for those holes that you had noticed where those spider constructs had coming out. You don't really see any in this room at all. So you figure wherever you put her should be fairly safe, assuming you can get those doors at the front you came through locked. And
the 2 doors at the front that are north and south of the counter, are they defensible, or we're going to barricade the main doors into the whole room?
You would be better off barricading the doors into the whole room. B. And
the main doors looks like they'll still close and lock?
They won't. You can still close them, yes. Locking.
They push into the room?
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to put her in the back south corner in the back room.
Okay.
Because I think that should be fairly safe for her. And then these big boxes that these guys can't lift, Pryo goes over and gives it a shot.
All right. Everyone, please roll plyometric strength.
Pryo with a 20 on his plyometric mass hefts up the 2,000 pound crate.
There's still an issue of getting some help stabilizing, so Zdeno and Danus can help you just because it's a huge box. Between the 3 of you, you move things around and are able to close the doors.
Okay, we might as well go ahead and do a good job barricading it. I'll move over a number of boxes so that
All right.
it'll take those darklings quite a long time to get in.
Good job. +1 to both you for the idea. So after some time, you stack boxes up. Zdeno looks through quite a few of them. You see him randomly open a box and something disappears quickly into his cloak or into his bag.
Now remember, Zdeno, we're sharing the treasure, 60%, 40%.
Yeah, we need to get out of here first, so I'll just carry it.
Agreed. Pryo gives him a cursory smile. I then go back to the sorceress and see if she is okay.
This takes you some time, probably about 20 to 40 minutes of once to move all these things and get it all together. She has started stirring by the time you come back. She's rubbing her arms. She's sat up. You had laid her on a crate.
Okay, I kneel down. Okay. Then I go over and I take out a water skin and
Okay, she takes it from you.
Are you all right?
I will be. It's kind of as I expected, to a certain degree.
What is?
Well, the rumors of darkness spreading here. Okay, Zdeno comes back. He goes to take the water out of your hand, as if you're sharing it around.
Okay, I'd let him have it.
He goes,
I'll only drink 40%.
Okay, he drinks a bit, hands it back to you.
All right. Pryo actually kind of chuckles a little bit inside. He takes his shirt, he wipes off the lip.
You see his UV around the edge of your spout.
Okay, he puts it back in his pack. We should be safe here for the moment, Nadra. If you wish to recover, or I don't know, perhaps like Zdeno, you want to look for some treasure.
I have no need of treasure. Zdeno stops and looks at her.
I'll take her half.
Okay, Pryo turns around and starts looking for clues. He wants to know what they imported, exported, anything he can tell about He's not so concerned, of course, about the old kingdom of Akin. He's more concerned about, of course, learning about the Dark One, these Darklings,
Right.
and this so-called emissary, this dark emissary. But anything in here that can tell him. Plus, it also allows him to look for stuff that he can trade and treasure. He does need to put food in his mouth.
Well, they're checking, talking, drinking, and Zdeno's making a joke for the first time. Good for him. I want to look for specifically useful things.
Okay.
Not necessarily like gold or jewels or crystals or core credits or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm looking for stuff that's going to be helpful, like rope, maybe a torch.
All right, you all start setting to looking around. There are just hundreds of boxes, so you have lots of things to look at. There you find there was a lot of finery from the Kingdom of Akin, such as clothes and tapestries and all those. Most of them have rotted. That's those boxes that have fallen apart. You do, however, find a few small crates of resource cubes. These are the little tiny cubes that are both. There's both food and water ones that you can just eat and carry with you. Dennis, you do find rope. You find quite a fine weave of rope, about a good 50 feet, all coiled up. It's got a silverness to it.
All right, cool,
Yep.
Fantastic.
Other than that, you find some like random cigarettes, those kind of things. Pryo, as you're looking through, you are looking. What are you looking more for as far as things to signal you?
Well, my other sense is the weak nuclear force. He senses radiation. So if there's any major power sources, I have Batty scrounge around a little bit, see if I see anything on thermal, any major energy sources.
So you're going through as well. You find, again, resource cubes, a lot of beautiful, what was once beautiful fabrics, clothes, that kind of thing. You find often one corner kegs and kegs of alcohol, mainly beer, but there are some other alcohols, flasks of various hard liquors.
Any major energy sources?
Okay, you start looking around, feeling more rather than looking with your eyes. And there is one crate that's quite a bit far in the back. You sort of have to climb over to get back there, but it's giving off a fair amount of radiation.
All right. He draws a kukri and wedges it in the top of the crate and opens it up.
Okay, you open it up. It's odd. It's not a huge crate. It's only 2 or 3 feet wide, square. You pop it up. There's a bunch of packing, kind of shipping material, and you see all these little cubes. They're about handheld side, a little bigger than a softball, except a cube shape. They have little crystals on top, and they're all packed neatly. They're obviously still from the manufacturer, and they say X-Rods, speeder cubes.
X-Rod speeder cubes. Huh. Okay, Pryo examines this. What,
You look them over. There is a little crystal in the middle, and it just says to activate cube with a button. Otherwise, looks like quite a plain metal box.
Oh, okay. Pryo goes, oh, okay. I think I know what this is. Okay, he climbs over to where there's some space.
Which is not too difficult to find, particularly after you moved all those crates. You made some room.
And he presses the button and tosses the cube on the ground.
Okay, fabulous. You press the button, toss it. You see it start almost as if a black cloud, not to be confused with evil goo that just went out the doorway, but a black cloud of like nanotech starts to move and it expands, and there is a speeder bike hovering in front of you. Okay, the second you hit it and the little poop poop noise, Zdeno turned and looked. His eyes, you see a flash in his eyes. Dennis, you also heard the strange noise.
Like the chirp chirp of like turning off a
exactly. Yep.
Great.
It's just hovering there.
Pryo goes,
it started because it just hovers.
Pryo goes, oh, okay, he gets on it.
Okay. There's not enough room to like race loop around here.
Of course.
But you could, drive a little bit around. You have about a 12-foot, 15-foot space.
He won't even drive it. He's just going to get to feel the seat, check the dials, the gauges, and what are the stats on these bikes? So
they are an old edition of a speeder. Nothing that you would look at nowadays and go, no, fancy speeder. You just intuitively feel Pryo, like, you're like, oh, this is an older model. However, looks fairly sturdy. It's not too flashy. It's a black, think gunmetal black around with a purple light that goes down to the 2 hover where wheels would be, 2 hover spots. They go, and there's a block of 6 of them. They go 300 kilometers.
300 kph.
Yep. Zdeno is trying to climb over where he saw that you came from. However, his large bulk is having some difficulty getting up and over. And Batty's sitting on top of the box, making little clicking noises at him as if he's guarding it or something.
Okay.
Okay, Batty flies over. He keeps flying, circling around for anything else.
Say, well, Zdeno, if I'm not mistaken, this looks to me like it's probably the most expensive and useful treasure here, other than the information we've gathered.
There's supposed to be something in the throne room, but here looks good.
2 for us, 4 for you.
Sounds fair.
Pryo nods. He grabs another one and tosses it to Shooter. Okay, I press the button to deactivate mine and put it in my pack.
Okay, you have a little, what's left once it expands into a speeder, you have almost like a little key fob basically with a crystal left, and you just hit it and it reassembles. All the nanites come back and reassemble to a little cube.
Awesome.
Okay, Zdeno you're quite amazed with his devotion to picking through every box and every piece. He even pulls out quite a bit of the clothes and looks through. He's piled a bunch of stuff into one corner,
You both look. You realize as you're watching him, you've kind of stopped and pulled back and are making plans as to what to do. He seems to be making a pile as if he intends to come back to cart a lot of this stuff away.
You very well could. It would be a very foolish thing to do.
More power to him. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
However, Batty does find an interesting looking long container, and he's able to sonar through, and they are giving off some heat, and they seem to be arrows.
So wait a minute. Zdeno. Come back. Oh,
Okay.
this one here.
They're quite high up. Batty is as it's one of the ones that he couldn't reach, otherwise he would have gone through them.
Okay, with a 24, Pryo gingerly climbs up.
All right. You climb up, you bring it down.
With 22, he doesn't fumble. He goes,
Okay. You come down. Zdeno's kind of waiting to see what you called him over.
I think we have some arrows here. Poof, I put them down. I put them on the counter.
Okay. He waits just briefly, just enough for it to seem like he's letting you look, and then he pops it open with quite a bit of glee in his eyes. Inside, there are, again, some knives, nothing of great note, but there is a long cylindrical container. When you pop the end off, he pulls out, and it's the tip that's giving off some kind of quite a bit of heat, actually. He looks at them. He counts. There's 10. Do you want 4?
As per our agreement.
Okay, he picks 4 out. He looks at the other ones, kind of examining. You can tell he's seeing which ones are the better ones. He goes,
Sure. What do you think, Shooter? Hands him a few. What do you make of it? I can't quite tell. Some kind of energy at the tip.
Oh, I was going to say, this is just an arrow. Okay, what's going on here? And I'll feel it, and I'll touch it. Can I hear it? Can I taste it? Oh, this is I'm going to do it. I'm going to try all the senses.
No, I want you to actually roll your Tinkerer, is what I want you to roll.
Oh, okay. That's much better than
Before
you die.
Before you try to eat it.
Okay. All right, I can do that. So my Tinkerer is 165. 39.
Another 9.
So critical success. I hate 9s. So.
All right.
Yeah.
You're looking at it and you start to look closely and you actually see the arrowhead shift slightly, and you're very familiar with nanotech, wearing an entire suit of it. There seems to be some type of nanite or nanotech device that is the actual head of the arrow.
Okay.
The closer you look and you bring your hand up, your armor actually, you feel it tighten in your arm, or your hand covers, the nanotech goes around your hand. You know that happens when your armor is trying to protect you from some sort of nanotech invasion.
Ah, look at that. So then I put it close to my hand. It kind of gets bigger. Then I take it away. I put it close to my hand. I hand it back and I say, that's nanotech through and through. Right there.
So Dano was about to start touching, goes, puts him back in.
Pryo turns away, doesn't let Zdeno see him chuckling, but he chuckles as he secures the armaments and puts them in a place you can grab in the small of his back.
It's a plus 50.
50?
Yeah, 50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they are
Wow.
Nanotech parasite.
Wow. Alrighty then.
If someone is shot with them, it gives them -5 health per day.
Wow.
Wait. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's like they're getting away. One shot here, and then just let them go. Oh my goodness.
It's quite a cruel weapon, it occurs to you.
Okay.
However, it's also, Danus, quite interesting to your tinkering mind. You're like, oh, that is fascinating.
I'd be careful with those.
He acts like he nods, and you can clearly tell in his eyes he doesn't exactly know what they are, but he knows that they are worth something. Okay, other than that, that's pretty much all you find in the large room. Again, there's some bottles of wine, there's different things like that. Pryo, because you're trying to assess kind of what this kingdom was, it seems that there was quite a lot of finery that went through here. It must have been a rich kingdom at some point.
Obviously, yeah.
A lot of alcohol of a finer quality. When you opened the stopper on the flask, it didn't burn quite as if it was made in a still somewhere. But given the speeder bike and that kind of intuitive knowledge and being a bit of a grease monkey car guy, it seems like the kingdom fell and has remained in disrepair for a long, long time. Given the cameras that are still running, even though who knows who's watching them, and the fact that the dampening field, whatever this seems to be, is still running, it was obviously a powerful kingdom as well, because it must have a strong power source to continue after so long.
Indeed. Well, I suppose we should get out of here. Now, Zdeno, if you don't mind some friendly advice, I recommend you take what you've got and leave. There's no need risking whatever is in the throne room, which could be quite dangerous.
John, listen. The rumors of some plague have been around forever, but it's been megacycles. I never thought there was a possibility that there could still be some lingering. But I'm sure it's gone now.
I mean, he points to Nadra.
How many could there be? And the kingdom, the throne room.
Okay, his big tusks stick out, and he almost comes in as if you're some type of treasure. His eyes glitter.
Too close.
It'll be your funeral if you're wrong.
Odds are 4.
But if we're all dead, who's going to bring you to one? Okay, Pryo walks out.
I was gonna check the girl's arm, see how it's doing, if it's continuing to spread, or now that there's somewhat consciousness that if it's stopped or not.
Okay, you come over and look at her. She was looking at it. You saw more than once her running her own hands over it and light coming out. She has managed to heal. You assume that's what that white light is about. Heal it back. It's receded a little bit below the elbow, but it's not. It's still larger than when you first met her.
Okay, so there's decrease.
There is a decrease. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then I put my hand out, give them a hand up.
Okay,
if
she
they
gets
can
up.
do it. Okay.
She smiles. Thank you for the concern. I'm fine. If everybody's ready to go.
As Prio's leaving. Yeah, I think everybody's ready.
Pryo is very gently and quietly moving the boxes
+1.
so that we would have like about a foot of the door to go through. We could go one at a time, and if we're like, open the door, zombies, only one could come at a time.
They're standing there. Also +1 for caring for Nadra and checking on her, and I know alternatively also checking to see if that's spread. Good thinking. All right, you are able to move the boxes. You pull them back. You're doing it quite quietly, slowly. You've moved now enough away that you can open one of the doors a bit.
Okay, Pryo will do so.
There's still that distance ticking here or there, but nothing in the immediate vicinity. All right, so just to refresh, you've just peeked out, but I'm going to go over what you do know, because Danus, of course, had the map and the book you've read through, or the pad you've read through. So you would come out. This hallway goes entirely around. It's on the first level of the kingdom. You need to go, the hallway surrounds the entire throne room. Up, there are 2 archways at the end along this hallway that lead upstairs. You do know from the map you found that they go up, they come around the corner. There's a landing. It's mirrored on both sides. when you hit this landing, after you've come up here, there's a long alleyway, roadway that leads into the private residences. So there's an alleyway this way, an alleyway this way. This is where all the homes, housing units for the Kingdom of Keen were. You would continue going up the stairs to the second level. The second level has the same hallway that goes around. However, does not access any rooms off to the side. There is, however, balconies that are out on all on the 3 sides here. That's where you access them from the second level, and they look down into the throne room. That is what happens every second level up 8 stories.
Okay, so that means we can go up a level, come out, and potentially get a balcony to get a view of the throne room without actually having to enter it.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, this tactically sounds good to me. What do you think, Shooter?
Yes. Let's go.
Also, off of the balcony are stairways that, of course, look much more beautiful than this drawing, but stairways that go down like this into the throne room.
Oh, okay.
Off of the second level. The other levels have no stairways down. Does
what
that
do you think, Shooter? Do you not? Do you want to go back in the residences and do more treasure hunting, or do you want to get this over with?
No, that's why we're here. That's the treasure. I mean, take it or leave it. It's all fine and good, but we've got bigger things to do.
I agree.
Nadra has remained fairly quiet. She's listened and she just doesn't say much. Zdeno was about to give you some flack on not going through those homes. However, his main goal seems to be that treasure room at this point.
Okay, buddy. All right, crawl on the roof and cloak and find us a way up there.
Your little bat flies up and attaches to the ceiling of the hallway. And he's waiting for you to open the door.
Okay, I go. I open it. I look out.
Okay, you look out. Again, there's just a clicking of spider constructs off in the distance, but nothing of note very close to you. You look to the right, you see far down the way you came. You look to the left, you see the direction you have yet to go. You see that camera down there. You notice the camera inside. You hear a little as if something is zooming or moving, focusing.
That I'd be lying if I said that didn't make me nervous at all.
I'm doing my job.
Yes. +1, GM. +1. Okay. I want, if I can go to the map here, I want Betty to crawl out, go directly north on the ceiling, go directly into that stairwell. Come up and all the way around into looking into this throne room area and see if it's clear to access the throne room from that stairwell. If he comes into any trouble at all, he is to immediately fly back.
All right, he's cloaked. He goes out. You're the only one who can see. Although you notice that Nadra seems to be able to follow him.
Interesting.
He heads off. You see he is going along the camera in his own telescopic vision, which also focuses in. The camera and his eyes seem to focus on each other. The camera's focusing down the way, not on him, but focused down the way. He goes up the stairway. He comes to that landing with the first arch that heads down to the residences. He looks down. It's quite dark. There doesn't seem to be no movement down there.
I'll have him switch to thermal and UV and sonar to get us a picture of if there's 1,000 zombies standing there or something. Or if
they're just standing there. Okay, he switches around. He does see the occasional spider construct moving about, but none of those darklings or zombies, as you've been calling them. As he comes around the corner to go up the stairs, he sees that there's something has collapsed, and there's actually the stairs have been taken out all through here.
Oh, okay. Well, this is why we have surveillance devices.
Good job. All of this area here.
So we can't get up that way.
It only seems to have taken out about 5 stairs. You see a girder that's kind of come down. Batty looks up and he can see where it's collapsed from above. There's some of the pipework, which the Akinians of long ago called the lifeblood of Gaia. It looks like something had ruptured there. You could, however, you think you could jump. There's that girder across. It's not that terribly difficult to get across. However, it still is. It's not as easy as just a straight shoot up.
Okay, I have him keep going then. I'm relaying this to the party, and I'm showing them, especially Shooter, but I'm showing them in my goggles what it looks like.
Okay, Zadeo, and you show him. You see him get excited because, of course, your goggles and bat are something of worth. Then he kind of looks at you and looks quickly and gives them back, but he keeps an eye on them. You know, just in case you die. He needs to know what's of worth on your person.
Yeah.
Batty, with some difficulty, he falls down on the girder, he gets across, he does go up, and he comes up to the second level. I'll draw the second level in purple, and you see there is quite a large balcony. There's a huge archway that you go through to get to it, and it's got gilded carvings all around. Again, some more of the rotting tapestry that once would have been quite beautiful. And there's some sweeping grand stairs that go down this way and this way, just as the photo or the image indicated. When he comes out, he perches up on the railing of the balcony and looks down. He looks down first, and there's the full story that he just came up of wall, and there's all these holes, all in along tubes, all throughout the walls on either side of the throne room. There's also 2 balconies on either side, this way and this way. Purple
above the holes?
Yep. There's holes also. You imagine there must be holes underneath the balcony that Batty's on as well. And he's looking down into this large room. There's, again, grand tapestries that are quite a bit rotted. And you see these interesting pillars that wrap, think of almost like a double helix, but without the laddery part, just like intertwined carvings and statues that stretch all the way to the ceiling. When Batty zooms in with his telescopic vision, he realizes they're hollow, as if things could be going back and forth, up and down them, be it fluid or some constructs. They definitely seem to be native to Gaia. And then in the center is a large black dais with a pod on it.
A pod?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, darn. Okay. Does it look active? Does it look...
It's just closed right now. There's nothing going on. From the back of the pod is a large column that clearly would be what would be powering it. The large pipe behind the pod. This wall back here, the southern wall behind the dais, that is covered in Gaia and like large, what Gaia crystal miners would almost call veins, but they look like huge crystals coming out, and gold and silver all interlaced between it, as well as those 2 double helix type conduits. And behind the pod, the large column that goes up, it's all still glowing and beautiful even after being forgotten for so long.
So I go, all right, Zendeno. Here you see it yourself. I don't see any great treasure there. All I see is an ambush waiting to happen. And a difficulty in escaping.
Look at the crystals! He's almost drilling.
I go, Pryo doesn't want to appear like he's doesn't know the value of these crystals, but he's like...
Okay, naturally, she goes, it is quite beautiful, and as our companion has indicated, quite valuable. He is almost like panting, like a French bulldog would do.
Pryo looks at him and says, yes, but how exactly do you plan to get the giant crystals out of here?
We can remove some of them, and then once I know, I can bring them back. 60-40, John. 60-40.
This is a bad plan.
This is the horrible plan. Are you going to move
Says,
60?
I don't think there is a plan, is there?
Pryo nods. He says, I have to get into that throne room. And I have to open the pod.
Oh, Zdeno.
Okay, all of them look at you. Nadra closes her eyes for a moment. You feel just a warmth wash over you. Everyone can roll MR.
Okay.
Crit success.
Just a regular success. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. It's a 72, and I rolled a 76. I have a failure.
Oh. Yes, someone failed that.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
What happened?
Okay, Pryo, you feel a calming sort of feeling wash over you and some warmth. Danus, you feel emboldened to fight those darklings, to fight the spiderlings, and you feel quite hopeful and that you will win when you go forward on this.
Okay.
She opens her eyes. She says, there's 3 spots. Where's that map?
I hand her the map as I'm getting my SMG ready.
Okay. Pryo, roll CE.
Yeah, I know.
You felt it. It felt actually even a little familiar to you, the wash of inspiration and light.
I look at Nadra again.
And you see Shooter is getting himself ready. He's checked out all the guns.
He can be
Tighten
plucky at times, so it might be difficult to tell, but I think I can tell.
She looks at the map. From what I can tell, there's 3 concentrations of darkness. The most important ones to us right now are back in the living areas, particularly on these lower levels. She points to both the one to the right and the mirrored one, or the mirrored one to the right and the left. I suspect there's more darklings back there.
I suspect you'd be right.
Above us, she looks up at the ceiling, even though you're standing in a hallway. Quite far above us, there's concentration up there. There is, however, a lesser signal within the throne room. It's fuzzy, however. I can't pinpoint it. She looks at Dennis as he's still getting ready. She goes,
If there's a being resting here in the pod, I need to question it.
All right.
Zdeno, you're here for treasure. Nadra, you're here to fight the darkness. I'm here to learn about it.
Well, then we are all traveling companions.
she looks again at Dennis.
I got a backpack full of pain. I'm bringing a delivery. Who's ready? Both straps. Tighten down. Let's go.
Both Nadra and Zdeno.
All right, then. Treasure.
I got this, and I go through the door.
Okay, you walk through.
Okay. Almost.
Okay, you step out into that hallway.
You know that slow motion walk everybody does when they're going like either into a battle or sometimes it's walking away from, like, that's what I feel like I'm doing right now as I'm walking down the hallway, like, here we go. With the music playing in my head, like dun, dun, dun.
All right, you step out. You start walking down the hallway. Apparently, Dennis is taking initiative, Pryo.
Pryo is following closely behind.
Zdeno bows and lets Nadra go first. She walks.
Pryo rolls his eyes. He shakes the shield off onto his left arm, and he has one hand on a kukri handle as he stalks behind Dennis.
All right, you come up to the archway. Nadra slows. She says, "Do be careful." She points up to where you know that living quarters are.
Mm-hmm. I creep up to the side of the archway, and I just draw a kukri and use the reflection to look around the corner.
You move the kukri and look. You do see, it's not the best way of looking, of course, compared to your telescopic bat or even your own vision. You do see some shuffling forms. You probably hear them as well, assuming your hearing's of any strength.
Is there a door for this archway?
No, there is not. It's all interwoven with that double helix kind of pattern. There's gold and crystals. However, you do feel like they are far back.
Okay. With an 8, that's a critical success. I make a force field over the hole in the stairs.
Ooh, good plan. Yes.
And I say, go, quiet.
Yeah, I don't know if I even like just a casual mosey of a walk. I'm just walking.
Okay.
We're on a mission. Mm-hmm.
You feel very mighty.
Yeah. As you know, if I pass Pryo making the force field, I'll give him a pat on the back and say, "Nice."
Okay. Nadra comes. She looks at you. She kind of slightly looks out of the hallway, down the alleyway, and then ducks to start going up. Zdeno's following. He does breathe quite heavy. Pryo, you hadn't noticed it until now. You're expecting everyone to be quite quiet. You hear him coming up behind you. He turns the corner and starts walking up the... He starts walking up the stairway. He's breathing quite heavy, and he falls. He slips when he hits the force field. Noise escapes him, not terribly loud, just a when you fall. Suddenly, 2 of the forms that were shuffling quite a bit at the end of the hallway stop.
Okay.
And they start shuffling down your way. They don't seem to be moving quickly, however, but they are heading in your direction. Okay, Nadra is helping Zdeno up.
I say, wait at the top of the stairs. Sound off.
Dennis, you're feeling a little less hopeful in life. Not quite as bad, but it's starting to disappear. You see there's this archway that matches the one you came through downstairs. You peek out. You don't see anything again in the immediate vicinity. You see this beautiful archway before you, and just ahead you can't see down quite yet, but you can see those great columns and all the crystals that are actually glowing and scintillating.
Okay. Looks good. And I'll start to walk around, walk around that the top of the balcony, kind of getting 2 different angles from the room.
Hold position. Wait for my signal.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Pryo. The shambling being that was closest to you took a left and started headed up to the north down that alley towards some of the residencies.
And there was 2 of them, correct?
It's still shambling up towards in your general direction. You do notice another shambling bit behind it.
So now we got 3. This is getting better and better. Okay, I sneak up with the rest of the group.
Yes, please roll sneak. Sneak. That's great. Could you please roll cooking for me? No.
I don't have cooking. Okay, it's 428. I roll 39. That is a critical success.
Okay. As you slowly creep quite quietly, you actually pull back up against the stairs more rather than staying close to the archway, so there is some shadow around you. When you do look down, you cannot resist looking down. Mm-hmm. You see that there are actually quite a few more down now that you're looking with your own vision.
I see.
Quite a few down there, shambling about. They seem to be generally moving towards you.
Okay.
At no great pace and not intently, so you are convinced they did not see you per se.
Let's hope so. With a 67, that's a critical. I leap over the hole in the stairs.
All right, you make it. You jump over that area. Actually, you can just hit the girder and go. It's quite easy for someone with your skill.
Batty, cover this doorway.
There's a squeaking. He comes back up to the top of the stairs where you've just come through, and you meet the rest of the party. Danus is up on the balcony. Nadra is seemingly trying to not restrain physically, but trying to stop Zdeno from barreling down into the throne room.
I say keep it very quiet. There are many darklings down there.
Zdeno nods.
Okay, I let Batty watch that stairwell, and I stalk towards the balcony.
he's placed himself kind of up top here so he can see down both.
All right, I look down into the throne room with my own eyes.
You see much as I've described, except with much more glory and beauty because you're using your own eyes rather than looking through your bat's eyes. And you see these crystals. They come out of the wall at an angle this way, and they're all shimmering and shining. Again, the double helix decorated. The flooring is quite even now, even though it's threadbare and quite old. The flooring is a plush, beautiful carpet. And you see those holes. You both may roll PR. Detective.
All right.
41.
Just a regular success.
Dennis, you had been standing here for some time longer as well and getting a look. The one thing that, Dennis, you did have a chance to see before is the fact that this throne room does continue up the full 8 stories or so, and those crystals go all the way up. Above, you see the remnants of tapestries that must have actually spanned down 8 stories down into the throne room, which would have been quite impressive in the day. You had surmised, and Pryo, as you walk in with your quick-looking eyes, that those holes are definitely for the constructs to come in and out. Dennis, you remember that you read in that book that originally this was a construct area that the people of Akeen had converted into their great kingdom in mind.
Pryo gets close up to Zdeno, says, "Listen, we're outflanked behind us. Those constructs are going to come out of these holes.
Yeah, and look at the crystals.
It's too dangerous." He grabs his arm and pulls him sharply. Says, "It's too dangerous." He growls, "You should leave.
No.
In fact, the rest of you should leave. Only I should take this danger on."
Natra puts her hand on you. You feel that wave. You don't have to roll MR, but you do feel a wave of almost like, just the best way to describe it is light and hope kind of wash over you.
Pryo shrugs.
She says, "John, come. We're all here of our own."
"I'll not have your dead body on my conscience."
"And I won't have yours. Stop fighting with us." Suddenly there's a flash in your mind of some magenta eyes looking at you and giving you almost the same feeling, and then a break of smile. You come back, you just see her looking at you. "Are you all right?"
"Fine." All right, Pryo goes.
She goes to grab you, not aggressively, but grabs you. She goes, "You must calm yourself."
"I assure you, Natra, I'm as calm as I get." Okay, he goes.
Zdeno's right on your heels. He's like, great. He starts rubbing his hands. He's looking all around. He's eyeing up that pod and the gold that surrounds it.
Every 2 floors, there's a balcony, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
To my knowledge, the darkling weird zombie things, they were on roughly the floor, like 0.1 floor, like 0.5 floor below us, right?
Mm-hmm. And kind of behind and off to the side.
I want to make my way. I want to duck backward. Make
Okay.
my way up to the next balcony floor.
Okay.
Okay. And I want to take my rope while they're doing their thing and moseying around. I'm sneaking up, wrapping my rope around that balcony and kind of throwing it off. So if I need to get down real quick, I use the rope. If,
Okay.
If they come from behind me or something like that, I can drop 2 flights pretty quick.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do. But also, it gets me, a couple flights away from the enemies that are wandering around the halls. So that's my thought.
You do not have sneak, so please roll coordination. Oh, do you?
I do. It's bad, but I have it.
Okay. Please roll it then.
New sneak roll.
Is this the first time I've snuck?
I
Yes.
think this is your first sneaky endeavor.
It is. It is 101. So as
Woo.
long as I don't fail,
Hey,
you gotta be. No, it's a success.
you're about to make the GM so happy. Darklings! No.
Sorry, success.
Oh, that'll happen very shortly. It'll be spiders and darklings, and probably maybe something even worse very, very shortly.
So Batty remains in the hallway, looking down either stairwell from.
Yeah, so if any
whence
darklings
you
come
can-
up from the resident levels, hopefully he'll see them coming up.
Okay, Dennis, you make it up to that second balcony. You go quite quietly. There is another archway with residences off to either side. You do hear some noises back there. However, nothing seems to cue in. You make it up to the second balcony and start tying your rope. As you look down, and you can see below that Pryo has made it down the stairs. You came around that curved grand stairway. Pryo, you can hear the spider constructs moving about in the tubes. Also roll detective for me, please.
Sure. 95, critical success.
You see more evidence of gunfire, old gunfire, not as ancient as the kingdom, but the similar one you saw down that hallway, particularly aimed in different patterns close to or in around the tubes. There's shell casings laying about. There's blown off little pieces of constructs.
I know that Tack's parents, or the angels of old, the leader angels, were here previously. And I know that Danus's father is a shooter, just like he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he is an angel of old as well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take much for Pryo to put two and two together.
There must have been some sort of mighty battle. And it occurs to you that you're in the same place, mirroring the same steps as you walk forward towards the great throne room.
All right,
Okay.
Pryo keeps walking up. His hand is on the kukri sheath. He still has the shield in his left arm.
Come on.
And while I look for clues, let Zdeno greed out and have his lusty greediness and try and chip off some of that crystal. Okay, I made my detective with a critical, by the way.
You guessed correctly from the stories that Tack gave you, and knowing what you know now about the Angels of Atheon, and that they had come here at some point. You recognize the effects of sonic disintegration. You also pick up a few of the shell casings and clearly see that they're from Atheon.
I keep them.
You look around, you see old pieces of not a lot, but some of the bots. And you see where they've actually been piled by the other constructs, seemingly to still try in their broken state to serve some function, whatever that may have been for the Gaia systems. There were the sprays against the holes in certain areas, and then the greatest point, however, of shells seem to have just been sprayed straight forward towards the dais. You also see some of those marks, those odd claw we were calling earlier, marks up close to the dais as well.
Strange. So that beast, I thought that something was a beast, was one of the angels of old.
Roll memory.
75, I make it.
You're looking around and you're tracing your fingers over the tracks that you thought were the beast marks, and the memory flashes back to you of those two stone carvings of the parents of Atheon at that monument. And the father, such as he's called, had a set of wrist razors with those two double
I
blades.
see. That was the patriarch. Interesting.
Okay, you've looked you were looking behind, you had turned and you'd gone up to the areas where the shell casings were, you'd pick some up. You turn, you see Zdeno up at the pod. He's looking at it. His eyes are glinting. He puts his hands on it.
With a 95, I telepathically enter his mind.
That's a critical, I assume.
Yes.
Your white phoenix flares out and heads over with some quickness and anger at Zdeno, and it hits in the mindscape just a strange, not unlike the black glass that was on her arm, of such single-minded focus and intent on whatever that emotion is, greed, that you're unable to penetrate. He rolled a 1.
Of course. Okay, Pryo
He
hisses.
starts rubbing. He
Deno.
starts putting his hands on it.
Deno, get your hands off that.
60. Might be something inside this stored.
Your death is in there. Okay, Pryo sounds up.
Odd. Okay, you come. Poof, poof. And you start to hear a clicking, clickety-click-click noise
Oh.
coming from the tubes. You start to hear the little construct spiders. You see little legs start coming out. Dennis, you are up there. You have tied your rope. You are ready to go. You are witnessing. You saw Zdeno going up. You look over as you're like, what the? And he's, Pryo goes running across to stop him, and you start to see little spiders coming out of the holes.
Shit.
Also, you feel a little less hopeful. It has now been expended.
Yeah, I'll say.
Oh, right now, as this happens? Oh, man. How far from me are the spider bots? I want to know what weapon, if any, I should use.
40 feet above. You see some spiders coming out, mostly on the edges of this side.
Yes, I'll pull out my pistol, because a silenced pistol is going to be a lot quieter than any other weapon. And can I pick some of these off?
Yep.
Let's knock them out. If we're not going into initiative, then I will just try and. They look bad, right? They're bad robots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you
Okay,
get
okay,
it,
okay, yeah.
yeah. When you get a close look, you haven't actually given them a very close look. They're the molded metal of the Gaia constructs that you're accustomed to seeing, molded all around, and they have red little lights all about, and they have 8 legs that come out either. That's why I'm calling them spiders. However, these ones do have a bit of a weird black ichor dripping off them that most Gaia constructs do not.
Oh, got it. Okay, let's kill it.
Okay, you are able to get off a couple, probably a round of shots before they are at you. Same with if you would like to do anything, Pryo. Zdeno has the single-minded being that he is, looked up, looked at you both. He's noticed Danus is up there and has turned back to the pod as if he's going to do something with it. Yup.
97.
No!
97!
Grab him on the shoulder and pull him away from the pod, but I slipped or tripped or fell. I didn't fall and break my neck, but I didn't grab him in time.
Okay, you went to grab him. You were turning to look at the spiders, and with a speed that you did not expect out of such a creature that couldn't climb up a single crate earlier, turned and moved so fast and has gone around to where the pod controls are. He's muttering something. You're not quite sure what he's saying, but you do not have much time to think about it as you hear it is silenced, but you can still hear in the room the gun firing.
So critical. 17 for the second, critical. And then 41 for the third, critical.
You turn, and the ones that are quite close to you, and you shoot. You quickly line up, and you just you shoot all 3 of them. One goes to move slightly and got clipped on one side, but the second shot, and you were able to quickly eliminate all 3 coming out that side. And you hear more clicking echoing throughout the tubes. You also are disturbed to see in the vision of your goggles, you see some shuffling darklings. They're moving quite a bit quicker.
Darklings at the steps, stupid f***ing Zdeno.
Nadra moves past you, Pryo, and heads towards Zdeno. You see a white light starting to come out of her as she moves towards him, out of her eyes. And you see a strange wave just of pure whiteness go to his head. And you see suddenly his eyes glow white and reflect what her own eyes, and then he kind of steps back off of the dais and pulls back. You have spiders coming at you from all sorts of directions. And they are not, however, attacking you. They seem to be surrounding you without attacking. You hear the clicking, you see the little red eyes. Occasionally you see some goo sort of run out of a crevice of where one of the legs connect and fall on the ground.
Okay, Pryo backs up with his kind of back to Nadra and is facing around. He's like, we're about to be flanked by everything.
Oh my gosh, they're all gonna die.